Now, while we're talking about big products, there's no way that I can avoid talking about GLP-1s and what's been going on in that market and what I think it's going to mean for the market next year. So first, some data, again, from my friends at IQVIA, what's been happening with these GLP-1 as anti-obesity weight loss treatments. Go back to 2020 when their primary indication in use was weight loss. We had about 16 million GLP prescriptions per year and about 10 million scripts that were rejected or not filled. In 2023, just through November, we had over 51 million GLP-1 scripts, so 3 times the volume, but the number of scripts that were rejected or unfilled is now 64 million. So, GLP has become the hot topic. In fact, if you exclude stories in the news that are either about politics or war, pretty much every other story has either involved Taylor Swift, GLP-1s, or artificial intelligence. And I'm just waiting for the story that hits the trifecta, AI image of Tay-Tay taking Wegovy. We'll stay tuned. That's maybe a prediction for 2024 as well. But I think what's going to happen here is the payers have gone through, I'd say, the 5 stages of grief. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. Metabolic diseases are a serious issue, and more and more evidence is coming out that these products aren't just a cosmetic thing, but there's actually healthcare benefits. We've seen the results for cardiovascular. The results for other obesity-related health disorders are going to start to come in, sleep apnea, knee replacement surgery, etc. So it's going to be harder and harder to deny access to these products. But that's what we're going to go in for. And I think 2024 is going to be the year when prior authorization battles come to the forefront because enough people are going to want these products. Enough people are going to be demanding it. And the payers are saying, you know what, we're not sure we want to pay it. We want to slow down the demand. We want you to try other things. And so this is going to be a year when prior authorization is going to become a more common term in the mass media. So we're going to see a lot more stories about people trying to get access to these medicines, physicians trying to get access but not. So it's going to be kind of a very public challenge. When in the past, I think these stories leak out, but they kind of are below the surface. But this one is so big. I'm sure you saw the news this week. Oprah said, yeah, I'm taking one of these drugs too, and it's great. So, and she's an investor in Weight Watchers. So it's going to be a big deal. Now, one of the other things about these products is this is leading to a big boost in profits for PBMs and reimbursement hubs. Many of the largest reimbursement hubs are actually owned by the wholesalers, and there's a number of independent ones. But helping people navigate this prior authorization utilization management world, the roadblocks, is going to be large. And the PBMs themselves are ramping up efforts to profit from this by delivering to plan sponsors new solutions that aren't just utilization management based, but are weight based. I'll just mention a few. Cigna has one called Encircle RX. Optum RX has Weight Engage. So whatever. But this is an opportunity. So this market is not just the market for the products, which is kind of what the media story is, but it's a market for all the services around the products. And that's going to be a pretty significant driver. And it's going to be a driver of profits for all the companies in the channel that aren't actually selling the product. So that's going to be, I think, a big opportunity. And of course, our old friend, the gross net bubble, has reared its head here. Now, I'm sure if you're here on a Drug Channels webcast, you know all about the gross net bubble. But as a reminder, it's the difference between sales at the list price of a medicine and sales at the net price of a medicine. And what we know so far from the GLP-1 is that gross to net difference is about 75 to 80%, which means they're already being sold at deep discounts from the list price. So when you hear people from Congress tweeting about this or news stories talking about it, remember they're almost always talking about the list price. Drives me bananas, drives SpongeBob bananas, but it's something that happens. And in fact, I include a couple links there in the deck to point you to some resources to find out about this. For example, in North Carolina, a contract was accidentally leaked into the public domain between CVS and Novo, finding that the rebates on, just make sure I'm saying this right, on Ozempic were 49%. Just the rebates. That excludes 340B, copay assistance, free drugs, any other gross to net discounts. So the rebates are already at the 50% level. We're already selling at 50%. By the way, when you see the slide, you'll see a lot of footnotes with resources you can check. Just think, how many webinars do you go to that give you homework? Right? That's pretty good. You'll do well on the test. Now, the other dynamic that I think is going to become a little more obvious, although it's still kind of just below the surface right now, is the fact that the revenues from these products are not matching up to the profits for the people in the middle, the entities in the middle of the channel, particularly the pharmacies, but also even the wholesalers. The revenues are enormous. I'll just give you one data point, a most recent data point from Cencora, formerly known as AmerisourceBergen, which said that in their fiscal year ending 2023, their fiscal year 23, which ended at the end of September 2023, their total U.S. drug distribution sales grew by about $23 million. But sales of just diabetes and GLP-1 products accounted for $8 billion of that growth. So more than a third of the total growth in their revenues was just this set of products. So it's driving enormous revenues. It's not super profitable for them. It's mildly profitable for them. For many of the pharmacies, they're finding actually that it's unprofitable to fill these prescriptions, just because of the dynamics of what discounts they can get, the reimbursement they're getting. And so it's causing a lot of pharmacies to say, we're not even going to stock these products, or the loss from a rapidly ramping revenue is not worth it. So that's an access issue that I think is also going to come to the fore. So, given the human interest nature of this product, 2024 is going to be a year we kind of have a breakthrough in discussion of things that normally happen behind the scenes. The prior authorization battles, the economics of pharmacies, the economics of the channel, and who's really making money from these products. Telehealth companies are jumping in here as well. So telehealth companies, which kind of grew during the pandemic, they kind of faded away a little bit. This is now their time to shine, and we're seeing a number of them jump into this space. So that's another kind of 2024 thing that's happening, and maybe it's a little bit different than just the high-level story you might hear, but I think this is going to be a big topic for us.